Hey gang, it's Rob. In today's video, we're gonna go over some questions, some answers, and scenarios that's gonna make the test a little less scary than it is right now. So make sure that you stay around to the end of the video, and let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into it. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get straight into it. We're gonna go ahead and go through the 1001 A+ test prep. So for all of you guys that are new to the CompTIA exam, the CompTIA exam is an exam that consists of two tests. So you got to pass the first part and the second part. So just this one that we're going to be talking about today is going to be going over the first part, which is the 1001, as per this recording until they update it. So to pass 1001, you need a 675 out of 900. Expect to get multiple choice questions, performance-based questions, and a few simulations. And as well as you're going to have 90 minutes to knock out 90 questions. Now that can sound scary, that can sound crazy, but if you prepare properly and you study, you'll be fine. Once you get into the exam room, you can go ahead and knock down all this stuff. So you ready for the first question? Very good. Before we get to that, make sure that you like this damn video and you subscribe. I'll give you a few minutes to go ahead and do that. And let's go. All right, so the first question. Johnny is currently renting a vacation home in Florida. For some reason, he can't access any websites. He is unable to visit any sites outside his local network. He calls an IT company and a tech arrives immediately. The first thing the tech does is ping ESPN.com because I guess he wants to see what LeBron is doing, and he gets no replies. The tech pings the IP address connected with ESPN, and he gets a reply. What command line command may resolve this issue? All right. Hopefully, since you guys are super smart, that you got flush DNS. So DNS is what's used to resolve a website name to an IP address. And if you flush the DNS, pretty much get rid of the settings in the DNS and then let it refresh, then a lot of times it'll actually be able to resolve the issue that Johnny was having. All right, we're going to go through these questions just like this. We'll read the question. I'll give you guys some time to answer it. We'll figure out what the answer is as a family. Then I'll tell you why that's the answer. Sound good? All right. Ricky is a real estate agent with several hundred clients. He needs to have access to his appointments at all times. He desires to purchase a web-connected planner. The planner allows him to stay on top of all his clients. What would the planner application be classified as? All right. Since you guys are super smart, I know you got this. It was too easy. SaaS, or software as a service. So that application would be considered software as a service. You don't have to develop anything, you don't have to download anything. Everything is there whenever you need it. So software as a service. The other ones are platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, and D, I just made that shit up. That's not a thing. Okay? So software as a service, that's what this application or appointment planner would be. All right, Raven is a senior network engineer. She is checking behind one of her junior technicians. The tech was supposed to install several data racks in the data center. Raven needs to ensure the data center is a safe working environment. So she ensures all racks are grounded. What tool can ensure the racks are grounded? Very good, too easy. So a multimeter can ensure that you have a proper electrical ground so nothing gets shorted out, nobody goes in there and gets shot, so on and so forth. Next, Jake is looking for a security solution that proactively seeks out threats. The most persistent threat seems to be the LAN being affected by outside attackers. What should Jake use to make the network more secure against outside threats? hopefully you guys got this right. Here we use an IPS. Now, since we're here, understand that on the actual exam, it's going to be a lot of acronyms, right? A lot of acronyms, and if you don't know what the acronyms stand for, it can pretty much make you take an L or a loss when you're actually taking a test. So IPS stands for Intrusion Prevention System. Another thing that you need to do inside the testing center when you're taking the exam is look for keywords. So in the actual question, it said proactively seeks out threats, right? Proactively seeks out threats. So an IPS actually looks for things and wants to stop them. An IDS, which is an intrusion detection system, doesn't really do anything until an event actually happens. So an IPS is preventative and tries to be proactive and look for stuff before it causes any damages. And another thing, gang, as we're going through this, no, this isn't the questions that's going to be on the damn exam. No, that's happened in other videos. Like, is this the questions that are going to be on the test? No, dummy, that's cheating. But anyway, you guys are super smart. You don't think that. There's no way you think that. So let's go to the next thing. You are a project manager for Master I.T. You need to order several motherboards for your servers. You look through your supply vendor's documentation and find the motherboard vendor's agreement. Your current vendor charges one flat fee per motherboard socket. Which of the following options would be best for the company's overall bottom line when it comes to budget and performance? All right. So a single processor with 10 overclock cores. If that doesn't make sense to you, read the question again and it should soak in. So the main thing they were worried about was performance, but also the budget. And remember, the agreement was per socket, right? So per motherboard, CPU socket, per socket. So each processor goes inside of a socket. All the rest of these were multi processors or multi-socket or multiple CPUs except the first one. Now the difference between the first one and the actual answer is that overclocking a CPU is going to make it faster than hyper-threading a CPU, okay? So this is one of the things when you get inside of the testing center, the questions a lot of times aren't straightforward. They may be convoluted. That's another big ass word. But they may just, pretty much go across the country when all they had to do was cross the street to get to the answer that you were looking for. Makes sense? All right. All right, Greg is a network engineer for IP Inc. He is having a great day until he suddenly is bombarded with service tickets. Many of the service tickets state that users are getting an error stating duplicate IPs present. Users state they are unable to browse the internet. Which of the following servers should Greg take a look at? Very good, too easy. So the DHCP server. The DHCP server is responsible for assigning IP addresses. What happened? I almost assigning IP addresses automatically, right? So if there's an issue, that's the first place he would look because that's what's responsible for actually assigning IP addresses, and nobody should be getting the same IP address, okay? You currently are a help desk lead at Master I.T. Oh, wait a minute. Before we get into this, if you haven't done so, stop what you're doing, like this video, and subscribe and share it with somebody that can benefit, all right? Anyway, you currently are a help desk lead at the Master I.T. You are tasked with migrating all user data. Your supervisor wants all upper management data stored on premise, while all junior level staff data will be stored in the cloud. What type of storage model will you be setting up? Hopefully you guys picked hybrid. So a hybrid model has some stuff on premise, some stuff on the cloud. That's simple. Angel is the CEO of a company based out of Detroit. Due to several employees falling ill in the office, she thinks it's best for everyone to work from home. One of her major concerns is that the level of security won't be the same at home as it is in the office. She wants a solution that will allow her team to work from home while securing the information being sent. Which of the following will best suit her needs? So hopefully you guys picked none of those. So VPN without tunneling would pretty much be a VPN without encryption. Antivirus with remote triggering, I made that up. Virtual private network using STF, I made that up as well. VPN with dual monitoring trigger points, once again, something that is not real. All right, so when you get inside the box, make sure that if you feel a certain way, to stick with your gut, but it's none of those. It would just been a regular old VPN, or using a VPN to secure the traffic from the person's home to their company network. As always, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. If you're looking for more practice questions, you can head over to itmastery.com. There is a link in the description to all of our A+ practice tests. Or if you need more than just practice tests, we have a full A+ self-paced online course. Other than that, I'll see you in class. All right, gang. Next up is 1002 test prep. Let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into it. So what to expect? So this is the second part of A+. So remember, you got to pass the first part and the second part to actually be A+ certified. On this exam, you need a 700 out of 900 to pass the test and to gain the certification. On this test, you're going to get multiple choice, scenario-based questions, and performance-based questions. And you're going to have 90 minutes to knock out all 90 questions. Let's get to our first question. Maddie is currently using software that allows network computers that are not yet loaded with an operating system to be configured and booted remotely by him, the administrator. Which of the following is Maddie probably using? Very good. So he's using a PXE boot, PXE, or pre-boot execution environment. So that'll allow you to remotely install an operating system onto other devices. So gang, if this is your first time being here, this is how we're gonna rock out. Pretty much we go through the question as a family, and then I give you some time to figure out what you think the answer is. Then I give you the answer, and then I'll tell you why that's the right answer, okay? Janice had a critical failure on her drive. She has tried several fixes to no avail. She then uses a blank on the disk that helps to restore the factory settings of the OS. Janice fully understands that this will revert the OS back to the way it was when it was shipped. She believes this is her only option to fix the issue. What fix did Janice apply? All right, so she used a recovery partition. So the recovery partition is some space that's saved on the drive that when you go back to the recovery partition and you boot it up, it pretty much resets your entire drive back to the way it was when it shipped from the factory. So nothing's going to be on it except the stuff that was on it when you first got it, okay? Hey gang, before we go any further, like this video and subscribe. Like this video and subscribe. And share with anybody that you think can benefit from it. Marcus is a network engineer for a local startup. He wants to browse his favorite websites without his supervisor knowing. He creates a workaround that should accomplish his goal. The workaround consists of a server that he connects to. Then that server will connect to the websites he would like to visit, thus making it as though he never connected to the sites himself. What type of server is Marcus connecting to? Very good, too easy. A proxy server. So a proxy server is the type of server you connect to it. It's like a go-between, a man in the middle, a middleman that will connect to devices for you, so it doesn't actually look like the source that's connected to it is you. So it can kind of mask your identity a little bit, okay? Gil is a system administrator for Master I.T. He wants to ensure that he uses best practices to improve the organization as a whole. Which of the following will be considered the most critical best practices? Choose all that apply. So gang, when you're inside the box, make sure you pay attention to this. Choose all that apply. Choose the best option. Choose the least favorite option. Choose the least expensive, most expensive. Pay attention to those keywords when you're actually going through the questions. So what would be the most critical best practices out of all this list? What are the things that you think that Gil should be doing? You should have said scheduling backups during non-work hours, implementing patch management, and last but not least, ongoing user training. All right, so you don't want to back up stuff when people are actually working on stuff and things are changing. It's going to either not back everything up, or certain things are going to not get backed up, or people may mess up the backup, or things may get corrupted, so on and so forth. So you want to kind of do that when nobody's hanging out. Patch management just makes sure that everything is up to date. The ongoing user training is going to make the organization, the network, and the users a lot more security minded, and they're going to know what to do when something happens, right? They'll know what to be abreast of, what to watch out for, so on and so forth, okay? Mike is a system administrator for Ronnie's routers. He is currently granting user permissions to a group of new users. When granting user permissions, he adheres to blank, which ensures users have access to only the things needed to perform their job functions. So Mike is adhering to the principle of least privilege. So you literally just give people the minimum amount of privileges they need to rock out and do whatever their job is, okay? A symmetric block cipher chosen by the US government to protect classified information. This cipher is implemented in software and hardware throughout the world to encrypt sensitive data. It is essential for government computer security, cybersecurity, and electronic data protection. What does this describe? So one of the keywords you could have looked at is government. So the only thing on here that's government grade encryption would be AES. All right, so like I said before, make sure that you look out for those keywords to make your choices a little bit easier, okay? All right, Jane is currently applying permissions to a file server. She applies permissions to several root folders. The permissions are then applied to all folders in that tree. What is the technical term for what is happening? So the technical term for what is happening is permission propagation. So whatever you do on the root folder or the main folder is going to get applied to all the folders within that folder. Make sense? Blank is an error screen displayed on Windows computers following a fatal system error. It indicates a system crash in which the operating system has reached a condition where it can no longer operate safely. So if you guys have ever got a blue screen with a bunch of numbers on it and a bunch of weird stuff, that would be called the blue screen of death, or B-side, blue screen of death. Gang, so we made it past the 1002 test prep. Like I said before, make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so I can continue to make videos just like this. If you need more practice questions, head over to itmastery.com, which is in the link below. The link to the A+ questions and the A+ course is in the description. Other than that, I'll see you in class. All right, gang, now we're going to get into the Network Plus test prep. So let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into it. So to pass Network Plus, you need a 720 out of 900. On the actual test, it's going to be multiple choice, scenario questions, and some performance-based questions. You're going to have 90 minutes to pass 90 questions. So let's get to our first question. The way we're going to go through it, I'm going to read the question out to you. You're going to figure out what it is. Then we're going to come back as a family. I'm going to tell you what the answer is, and I'm going to tell you why that's the answer. Sound good? Let's get into it. Sharon is a network engineer for a startup. She currently is troubleshooting several servers. The web server she's having performance issues with, hold on, I know how to read. The web server seems to be having performance issues. She has gathered data from all the servers to include the web server. Which of the following pieces of data would allow Sharon to understand the normal performance for all servers? But for her to understand the normal performance for all servers, she would just have to look at the baseline. So the baseline just shows you, okay, this is what things look like on a day-to-day basis under normal operating conditions. Malik just installed several fiber links. Malik wants to certify the performance of new fiber optic links and detect problems with any existing fiber links. What tool can he use to accomplish this? Very good. He can use an OTDR. OTDR. All right, so the optical time domain reflectometer. So I wanted to switch it up a little bit in this one. Usually I throw some acronyms at you, so both ways can kind of mess you up, right? So if you're only used to seeing OTDR, once you see optical time domain reflectometer, you might be like, what the hell is that? I don't know what that is. So make sure that you know the acronym and what the acronym stands for and what it actually does, okay? If you have yet to do so, like the video and share it with somebody that can benefit. Anybody that's going after Network Plus. Okay, you are going through the DNS records for your company. Which record allows you to see which port is being used for specific services? All right, gang, so all these are DNS records, but the one that's going to be able to show you what services are being used is SRV, okay? Raquel is a security engineer for Master I.T. She is currently looking for weaknesses within a company. Once Raquel's reconnaissance is complete, she will exploit all flaws found. The company she plans to exploit has given her permission and even paid her to compromise the company. What is Raquel doing? Very good. Hopefully you guys said a penetration test. So a penetration test just shows you how many layers can I penetrate? How far can I get inside of a company? Where can I actually exploit different vulnerabilities and different flaws? Now, if you went through my test prep for A+ that we released 2 weeks ago and last week, you already noticed like, man, there's some security questions on A+, and then this is I thought we was doing Network Plus. Why the hell is this security question on here? Because every exam has security portions in it, because nowadays that is a super important factor for personal use as well as companies. Okay, like this damn video and subscribe. Next question. Candace is a network analyst for a law office. The firm is renting out a new office space downtown. Junior techs are running network cables through the ceiling of the office. What cables should the techs be using? Okay, gang, hopefully you said plenum rating. When wires and cabling is ran through the ceiling, it needs to be plenum rated. These cables, if a fire happens, you know, God forbid, if a fire happens, these cables will not melt and give off toxic gas or fumes. So plenum rated if it's running through the ceiling, because if things are on fire, that can be closer to the exhaust fans, it can get into the air conditioning system, so on and so forth, and people don't need to breathe in that type of stuff. So before I get to the next question, why do I keep on telling you guys to like the video and subscribe? Because For me to continue to make this kind of content, I need the support of you guys, liking, subscribing, sharing, and my plan by this time next year is to be at 10,000 subscribers, and I would appreciate if you would help me get there. I'm giving you this damn test for free, so I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't. But anyway, Ronnie has implemented a UTM on the outer portion of a company network. The main office connects directly to the wide area network port on the router that was placed on the edge of the network. Although the router is on the outer edge of the network, it's still on the main network. Ronnie needs to grant access to an outside party. The only access needed is to a file server. Ronnie does not want the third party to have access to the main network. Where should this file server be placed? So gang, this question is one of the biggest examples of something you might run into, and something I like to refer to as a bunch of shit that you don't need, right? So some of the questions that you'll see has a bunch of arbitrary stuff that doesn't really matter when it comes to answering the actual question. So only thing that you really need out of this is when it says Ronnie needs to grant access to an outside party. Everything after that, right, is what's pertinent for this. So if you want to give a third party access to something but don't want to give them access inside your network, you can put it inside of a demilitarized zone. Okay, Jimmy will be setting up a wireless network for a company. As a network technician, Jimmy knows the office space will be crowded. He wants to ensure the wireless network incurs minimal interference once complete. What should Jimmy do? Jimmy should do a site survey to see where different devices are going to be, to see how to set up the routers so they'll incur minimal interference from each other and from devices that are being used. Most times, a network spoofing attack is when someone impersonates another device or user on a network in order to launch an attack. How does this differ from a DDoS attack? Hopefully you guys picked A. So usually a DDoS attack doesn't really require impersonation, doesn't really care about impersonation. It mostly just tries to get as many computers as possible to attack, or many devices as possible to attack one singular device, whether it's a server, whether it's a website, which is ran on the server, so on and so forth. So it's usually multiple locations, multiple devices that's all coordinated to go after one single target. We made it through the Network Plus test prep. As I've said through the lecture and through the entire test prep, like this video, subscribe, share it with somebody that can actually benefit from watching this video. In the description below, you can find our full Network Plus exams, our full Network Plus course, and we also have our bundle course in there that includes A+, Net Plus, and Security Plus, all in a self-paced online course. Other than that, I'll see you in class. All right, gang, now we're gonna get through a cybersecurity test prep for Security Plus. So the goal of this test prep is to get you a little bit more comfortable, like I said, with the actual exam. So how we're gonna do it, I'm gonna go through the questions, right? Then I'm gonna tell you what the answer is. Then I'm gonna tell you why that's the answer. But pretty much we're gonna go through all this as a family and figure it out together, okay? All right, gang, so on the Security Plus, what you're gonna expect is you're gonna have to get a 750 out of 900 to pass the exam. Okay, you're gonna have a multitude of different types of questions. Some of the questions are gonna be multiple choice. Some of them are gonna be performance based. Some of them are gonna be simulations. So you're gonna have, it's not just gonna be multiple choice. It's gonna be a variation of different types of questions. And on the actual Security Plus, you'll have 90 minutes to knock out 90 questions. Now that might seem like a lot. That may seem like, I don't know if I can do that. But once you actually drill this stuff into your head. Once you actually get inside of the box, especially if you're going through one of my courses, once you get inside the box, or if you go to the testing center, or if you're taking a test at home, all the stuff is going to be like second nature. And you won't even need, because if you're good at math, I know that means it's 1 minute per question. You won't even need that. 30, 45 seconds, boom, boom, you'll be rocking through it. So when we go through these questions, don't look at how long it's taking us to go through these questions. Don't treat that as a barometer of how long it's going to take you. Because remember, we're waiting, we're explaining stuff, so on and so forth. Let's get into it. Vicky is a security specialist for an IT firm. Today, she spent most of her time reviewing server certificates. She examines a numeric string created by a certificate authority. This numeric string can represent how certificates will work with policies to control how various programs behave. Which of the following is Vicky most likely examining? Now this may be difficult, but don't worry about it. So the numerical string that she's looking at is going to be the OID. So all certificates, the digital certificates that's created by a certificate authority or a third party, come with an OID, and you can look at that to kind of see how the policies and different things are going to make whatever the application is, pretty much how that certificate is going to make the application behave. So that's what she's looking at. Okay, how is this going to affect my application? Is it going to change the behavior, or how is it going to behave, or how does it normally behave? Okay. So a test result which incorrectly indicates that a particular condition or attribute is absent. What does that best describe? So you guys are super smart. So you said false negative. A test result which inaccurately indicates that a particular condition or attribute is absent. So pretty much you say, hey man, this don't work, but it actually does work. Now if it said a test result which inaccurately indicates that a particular condition or attribute is present, then it would have been false positive. Make sense? Hey gang, do one or two things or do both of them. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. If you haven't liked this video, like this video. Donnie is the Chief Security Officer for Master I.T. He believes that Master I.T. will grow at a rapid pace for the next 5 years. He notes that the company is growing by 50 users a month. He ensures that the company is prepared for the growth by increasing laptops, servers, UTMs, employees, and real estate. What Donnie has done has improved which of the following for Master I.T.? Answer is going to be elasticity. So pretty much being able to handle the growth that's going to happen. All right, so the growth that they're expecting, he has the elasticity, elastic, being able to expand, being able to hold down all the new employees, all the new users, everybody that they're going to have. So they're planning a scale, right? So they're planning a scale. They're planning to have more and more devices, more and more people, more and more things going on. So the more elasticity you have, the more prepared you are for that growth. Make sense? All right, Jean is in the office working late. She looks around and notices she is literally the only person in the office. She attempts to access data that is above her current access level. She receives an error stating access denied, contact admin. What access control model is in effect? I made all these questions. I don't know why I said like that was a surprise, but all right. So what's in effect is mandatory access control. So with Mac or mandatory access control, you only have access to the things you need access to. You only have access to the things that you need to perform your job. With DAC or discretionary access control, you're going to have full control to whatever you have access to. So instead of having certain levels of access, you'll have full access. With Mac, you only need what you need. You don't have access to anything extra, okay? You are a web developer for a school district. You are disgruntled and decide to hack the school's homepage. You manipulate several HTML frames by injecting JavaScript code via the web browser. What type of attack does this most closely align with? Like the video, like the video, like the video. So hopefully you guys said XSS, which actually stands for cross-site scripting. All right. So if you see X, it just means cross. Cross-site scripting is what you would do to inject that JavaScript code. Cross-site scripting, also seen as XSS. As I said in other videos, why I keep on saying like these videos and subscribe and share is because that's the only way that I'll be able to continue to do these videos for you guys, right? Is if you like the video, support, and share. So if you can continue to do that, it's too easy. I'll continue to make the videos. If not, next question. So this is a super duper question. Like I said in some of the other videos, this is what I like to call a bunch of shit that you don't need, right? So this is a perfect example of how to decipher the information that you need to get to the right answer. Let's get into it. The Edelman firm has been making headlines recently. The CEO has been charged with running a Ponzi scheme and stealing more than $400 million from investors. The FBI seized all laptops and computers from the firm's headquarters. A rookie agent put all the devices into a storage locker. Once Edelman's trial began, all information on those devices was deemed inadmissible. Edelman's lawyer reviewed the security tapes of the storage locker to find that it was unlocked for several days and 3 non-agents accessed the devices. What did the FBI mishandle in this case? Very good. Chain of custody. So they didn't have a proper chain of custody, pretty much meaning that they didn't know exactly where the devices was and who had the devices at every point before the trial. So the purpose of that is that if you don't have proper chain of custody, somebody could have removed data, added data, so on and so forth. So they couldn't actually use that against Edelman in the trial. And this is just a scenario that I made up. This isn't real, so don't look for Edelman. Another thing I want you guys to look at is sometimes on the exam, you will see a question this big and you'll automatically get scared. Like, oh, I ain't gonna get this right. But like I said, just look at the keywords and figure out exactly what you need to see and exactly what you need to get out of there. Because like I said, a bunch of this stuff is stuff that didn't even matter. Pretty much all you needed was from after it said the stuff was admissible, you could have got the answer just from using that stuff, okay? Jerry's drowning in college debt. To get even, he is working hard to crack the password to the servers of Fannie Mae. Once he cracks the servers, he hopes to wipe everyone's student debt clean. He's using huge databases of pre-computed hashes. The database's reduction functions have one color for plain text on the top and another color for the hash functions. What is Jerry using to help him crack the server's passwords? So another thing with this is keywords as well. So hopefully you guys got rainbow table. So 2 of the key things from this was going to be pre-computed hashes, which rainbow tables use, and then when they brought up the colors. So like it says, reduction functions have one color for plain text and another color for the hash function. So rainbow table would be the answer to this. Today's world is more connected than ever. Take Trevor for instance. He loves technology and wants everything connected. His smartphone is synced to his PC, which is linked to his virtual assistant, which is linked to his smart fridge. Unbeknownst to Trevor, the fridge has become a zombie. The fridge was a part of a coordinated DDoS attack to take down a popular news website. The fridge is part of the following. Choose all that apply. Very good. Hopefully you said IoT and botnet. So IoT is Internet of Things, things that connect to the internet. Botnet is part of a DDoS attack. So you have a DDoS attack, right? And all of the devices that are part of the DDoS attack are called zombies. All of the zombies make up a botnet. Make sense? All right, gang, so we rocked through the Security Plus test prep. Hopefully you feel a lot more comfortable. If you don't, oh well, I tried. So if you want to get Security Plus certified, if you're looking for some courses, if you like the way I teach, you can drop down into the description and you can roll inside of my full Security Plus course, or you can just get some more practice questions as well, depending on what you need. So make sure, like I said at the beginning, that you like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with somebody that can benefit from it. And other than that, I'll see you in class.